I want this day to be special, memorable, something I can tell my grandkids about. Doing a simple wedding sounds boring, but at the same time, I don't want the wedding to be a financial burden. I'm stuck. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to another episode.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. You're in one of your moods?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Weddings. That's the whole point of talking to somebody, isn't it? And trying to get married.
I thought the point is getting married, not just having the wedding.
I think all the focus and energy just goes into that one day and none into the potential 50 plus years that you're going to be spending with the person.
Not for everyone, no.
Come on. Generally, culturally speaking, it just feels like that.
Okay, I respectfully disagree, but okay.
Oh, come on. You don't think there's just so much emphasis and focus on just that one day?
Yeah, there is, but not
and more so than the rest?
Maybe for some people, but you're saying generally. No, it's not generally.
Okay, all right. I guess we agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, when we were getting married, and we always come back to our story, just like in the previous episode.
I think people are sick of our story. Guys, if you're sick of our story, let us know.
It's not like we shared from day one until now every time. We share bits and pieces that are relevant to the topic. So, I don't know, be honest. How much did you really think about your special day? How did you envision it when you were a teenager, maybe in your 20s?
Honestly, I don't remember how I envisioned it when I was that young as a teenager. But like in my 20s, I always thought it's going to be classy, simple, very, very simple. Like
What does simple mean to you?
Just like a place where like people, family and friends can sit down and hear each other talk and not just like everything being just over
drowned out by the music.
And the dancing. Like I imagined it to be intimate, outdoor. I've always wanted to have an outdoor wedding. Always something.
That's always risky, isn't it?
Well, it depends. Here in Canada, yes, it would be risky because it rains in the summer and stuff. But back home, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what we actually planned.
So we got married December 2019, if you guys recall. And of course, it was a simple nikah. Go back to, I think it was the first or second episode where the second episode where we shared our story. So the wedding itself, we were planning to have in Palestine.
Yeah.
And it was going to be a destination wedding. Well, a destination wedding for me and my family. Of course, you guys all know, March 2020, COVID happened, and the world just went to hell, apparently.
تنذكر وما تنعاد.
Whatever that means.
May it never be repeated.
Okay.
Inshallah. But yeah, what we planned was we found this, like, I don't know if you can call it a hall because it was like not a park, a garden, you could say, garden. We were going to have, I think, like 90 guests between my family, my friends, your family, and your friends. Remember, the menu was going to be like barbecue.
There were going to be nice kebabs.
They were going to do like the barbecuing in front of the guests. So it was going to be really beautiful.
I was excited. And also, don't forget, my beautiful speech. So I wrote a speech that was kind of partly in Arabic and a little bit in English. But it was a very humorous speech.
Yeah.
And I remember rehearsing it with you all over the phone and then just weaving in like Arabic jokes and proverbs in there. And so we were like super excited.
Yeah. I even found a dress. It was from Jordan. I got it from Jordan.
That white dress, yeah.
White dress. Like I had to visit, 15 different stores because what I was looking for was so simple that no store had it.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, subhanallah.
That sounds like such a contradiction.
Why?
It's so simple, but no store had it. So
yeah,
it was like,
because you should see all the dresses. Like
I would imagine it's so extravagant and nice that no store could.
No, that's what girls want these days. Like these big dresses with so much like, not the glitter. I don't know what it's called. Like lace and
design, a lot of design.
Like you look like a Cinderella or something.
Yeah,
that's not what I wanted, but. Regardless, subhanallah, things happen.
So, of course, like I said, March 2020 came, COVID happened, and we were just stuck. Should we have our wedding? Should we not? Are we going to have to cancel it? So the first inclination was, okay, COVID's not going to be that long.
Exactly.
So we postponed it to, I believe, August.
Yeah.
And then we had to redo the invitations. And we kept thinking, all right, inshallah, I'll be in Palestine. We're going to have the wedding in August. And then August came around. And of course, you guys know COVID was still around. The second time, we ended up canceling it because we just felt that, okay, COVID is going to be around much longer than we thought. And alhamdulillah, it was the right decision because, of course, COVID stuck around for about 2 years. And needless to say, we never had a wedding.
We never had the down payment back.
Oh, that too. I forgot that part. So your parents made a huge down payment for the hall and ended up losing that money.
Yeah.
And the reason we're sharing this is because, of course, you know, the one thing that surprisingly we haven't really discussed much about is the wedding itself. Right? I mean, we've talked about compatibility assessment and asking the right questions and making your search easy. But of course, there's so much time and energy that gets invested into planning that big day. And believe it or not, many times, you know, what could be the beginning of a beautiful relationship ends up getting called off just because families can't come to an agreement about the wedding.
Yes, it
Have you
happened.
seen cases like that?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, like in your family? Or?
No, but like in the community back home. Yeah, everything, invitations are sent, everything is set. And then just like a week before, a few days
before.
Or a few days before, or the other day, my mom told me about this girl who got divorced on her nikah day. I don't know.
So she had the nikah and then...
Yeah, not the wedding, the nikah. I don't think it's about a wedding, I'm not sure, but just things happen sometimes, subhanAllah.
Yeah, so why do these things happen? That's the big question. Or how is it that so much time can get invested into assessing compatibility? Families can be in agreement about so much. And then all of a sudden, wedding time comes and it's just the smallest thing that can just really trigger either party to the point where they call it off.
I never believe that it's just like one straw and that's it. Like one thing resulted in this like big disaster. No, there's always like underlying things behind it. And
for that one thing.
So when like people like let's put aside for now, let's put aside the families and their expectations. We're just talking about the guy and the girl. When they have like different expectations for the wedding itself, it's much deeper than just the fact that she wants an extravagant wedding and he wants to save money. It goes much deeper than that.
Yeah. So let's unpack some of the reasons. So marriage, needless to say, I mean, we pretty much know this by now, is getting more and more delayed. And the search is becoming so difficult, and it's just become so much harder than during the Prophet ﷺ's time. Not that I'm
during our parents' time.
During even our parents' time, yes. Like our parents had it much easier. And because of that, these weddings, I would say, are becoming a means of closure for people.
Yeah.
Right? It's symbolizing this reward for so much patience and hard work and this huge, like, it's like a gold medal. I've trained for 4 years. I've trained for 8 years for this one moment. And now I need to stand up on my stage and have that big gold medal put around my neck, right?
Like a graduation ceremony.
That's what it feels like.
And I do understand it. Like by the time a guy or a girl gets married, they've gone through God knows how many rejections. God knows how many times they've been ghosted, being disregarded, people swept left on them. Maybe they were interrogated by families, like prospective families.
Yeah. Or maybe they went through a divorce previously.
That too.
And this is like a moment or like a chance for redemption.
Redemption, validation. Validation doesn't necessarily mean vanity, by the way. Sometimes we need that validation for ourselves.
So coming back to our story, yes, like I said, we didn't end up having a wedding. And did you ever think that, okay, maybe we'll have a ceremony here when...
No.
It just got to a point because we lived apart for 14 months and we just thought, what's the point?
And even by the time I came here in March 2021, COVID was still happening.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's not like people were just, like, visiting each other and, like, weddings were happening and parties or...
Yeah.
So, but maybe at our 10th anniversary, we can have, like, a walima. We never even had a walima.
We never did. Would it be weird to have a walima? No. It kind of just feels cheesy or desperate.
Desperate,
It sounds really desperate. Like, I want to have my moment. So, anyways, March 2021, you came, and like you said, COVID was still around, and it stuck around for a bit. So it just got to the point where we said, let's just cancel it completely. Like even when we canceled in August, there was still some hope.
A little, yeah,
A little bit of hope.
Maybe
It
we'll
wasn't
have like a walima once I come here. or
like,
something
yeah,
like
maybe next year when you come. But it just dragged on for too long, and it just seemed so silly to even have a ceremony when COVID left. Actually, it hasn't really left. Somebody just got diagnosed with COVID a few days ago.
Yeah. Did you feel bummed or like disappointed that it didn't happen?
Yes, I was bummed. I was really sad that we didn't have our day. I mean, of course, I worked hard on the speech. Your parents lost your money. I was looking to have a nice destination wedding, enjoy some good food, meet your family for the first time. All of those things didn't work out. But Allah had better plans for us, you know, and like because of that, we have a beautiful story to share.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can inspire other people. But I think the main takeaway from that, I mean, there's so many takeaways, but the main one was that simple does not equal boring, right? I want people to understand this. Simple does not equal boring.
Islamic does not equal boring as well.
Islamic does not equal boring either. So when somebody says have a simplistic wedding, have a Islamic wedding, that doesn't mean it's just food, the masjid,
You know what?
and just like 10, 15 people.
You know what? I understand why people would think Islamic means boring because I've been to Islamic weddings and they've been boring as hell. There's nothing. There's just nasheeds in the background.
We have we have to define what an Islamic wedding is.
So I'm just talking about what's out there.
Okay, I think what you mean is a religious wedding,
Religious.
like the quote-unquote religious wedding.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just like the same nasheeds you hear at every wedding in the background. There's food. There's nothing. It's like people are talking and that's it.
Yeah. So the way we envisioned our wedding was, number one, it was going to be as simplistic as we can, but beautiful at the same time, which is very doable.
Elegant and simple.
Elegant and simple. But what we wanted was a mixed genders, but without the dancing. So, and that was very important to us. And I remember talking a lot about this because I was very keen on this, that I don't want to be at a wedding where I can't see your aunts and or I can't see, if my cousins were planning on coming, I can't see my female cousins.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit on the table with them, talk to them, enjoy a conversation with them, and vice versa. I wanted you to be able to mingle, interact with my cousins and my uncles and things like that. I was not very keen on a segregated wedding.
Not at all.
In fact, to the point that it could have even been a deal breaker.
Well, I'm
me.
glad we were on the same page. My mom, for example, she doesn't attend mixed weddings, but she had no problem with the way we were planning to have our wedding because we weren't planning on having music.
Right.
We were planning on having a dress code.
Right.
So like no revealing clothes or stuff.
Right.
And we were planning on having like some, like you could say, elegant music, not a DJ and like this music that makes people dance and stuff.
Right. So. Something, I don't know, like Feiruz, Kulthum or something.
Not Kulthum, like Feiruz, some
like beautiful.
Maher Zain, some...
Yeah, like, okay. But, that's a good point you brought up about what your mom said, because sometimes people associate mixed weddings with sin, with dancing and revealing clothing, and that's not the thing. It's not either or. It's not like mixed equals that. You can have a mixed, beautiful wedding where there is no haram happening. Yes, you are sitting with the opposite gender, but, it's an opportunity. Oftentimes, there's one more thing to point out, that many times you are seeing people for the first time after many, many years, right? And it's the one time you're going to get to really reconnect and have a nice conversation and meal with. Yeah. And you want it to be in a segregated environment? No.
And weddings are always the right place, a good place for people to find potentials.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So why not facilitate that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what would have been nice to have? Some games, like I'm not talking about board games, but like charades, for example, where you have, I don't know, the groom's family competing against the girl's family.
I've seen stuff like that. Yeah.
Or like speeches, and it was going to be fun. So suddenly I feel a sense of loss. But alhamdulillah, Allah had better plans.
Yeah. And also, I wanted my speech to be directed at everyone. I didn't want to just be staring at men when I'm saying my speech. I wanted to be seeing everyone so I can really get the feel for the room and just hear the laughs, and hopefully if they did laugh. But I still have that speech somewhere written down.
I remember it starts with ضيوفنا الكرام.
Yes, honorable guests.
Hey, if you have a story to tell, we'd love to have you on. Here you'll find a safe space of listeners who can understand what you're going through. Just shoot us an email with a summary of your story at info@halalmatch.ca. So we touched a little bit on the topic of the Sira and how they had simple weddings. And the thing is, when you tell someone we should try to imitate the simple weddings at the time of the Sira, we don't take into account one very important thing, which is women back then, they were honored, single or married. They were all community dignified women.
Right.
And
they didn't need a big marriage to validate them.
Exactly, yeah. But today, because of the singlehood epidemic, because of the loneliness, because of like ghosting, because of like all the crazy things that go in like in the singlehood scenes, because of that, especially us women, we feel that this is our day. This is the day where I prove to the world that I made it, that I am honorable, that I am to be celebrated, that my journey, my sabr, my loneliness, my sacrifice, all of it like came to a happy ending.
Yeah, it's like completing a marathon.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's much deeper than just telling someone, oh, you should opt for a simple wedding. Because a lot of times the things that the wedding brings out, the wedding discussion brings out is trauma, is past experiences, bad experiences.
I think that brings up more deeper underlying problems, which is, number one, encouraging and supporting young people getting married.
Yes.
Right? And because the more we're delaying marriage, the more not just this loneliness epidemic, but other problems come about, right? And you just listed many of them. And the other problem is that tying validation and closure and all of these things to marriage, and just treating it like as if it's a marathon or we're competing for the Olympics or something like that. And that just indirectly puts more pressure on this performance, right? This show that we have to put, that people have to put on for the community. And the interesting is, we were just talking about this before we start recording, that in one of the episodes we recorded, one of the interviews we did with Sister Hina Mirza, and she was talking about how many fights and sometimes marriages break off during the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is that because there is so much resentment and frustration that builds up during the marriage, and they can't obviously release all that during the marriage. And once the honeymoon comes, their vulnerability is down and they're more calm. All of that resentment and frustration comes out. Fights happen and blow-ups and all sorts of things, and it just becomes really, really problematic.
Not to mention the stress that comes with like the days leading up to the wedding.
Yeah.
And family interference, and this person's telling you this, the other person is telling you that. So, and you have like 5 different functions and changing between this dress and that dress and all of that. And the guy is just thinking about all the debt he's accumulated,
Right.
planning for this wedding.
Now, of course, I want to caveat this and say, if you have the money, by all means, have go big or go home, right? I'm not going to tell you to, not spend the money on your beautiful day. But at the same time, always remember that an expensive wedding doesn't necessarily mean a beautiful wedding.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, and like we just shared in our story, we kept it as simple. Of course, yes, we did spend some money. Your parents obviously lost some money. But our intention was always to keep it special, beautiful, meaningful, while keeping it within a reasonable budget.
It's meaningful. That's an important word. I think a lot of times we forget the meaning behind what we're planning. The cake, for example, a couple the girl wants to have this big cake, and the guy thinks it's just a waste of money. Nobody eats the cake, and all
we
of
weren't
that.
planning on having a cake, right?
No, we haven't. We weren't. But
Okay.
what's the meaning behind the cake? Like, why is a cake so important? I feel a lot of times once like we try to have open conversations instead of just going head to head and like conflicts and trying to convince each other and guilt each other and all of that. Once we have open conversations, we're going to start to learn about why we want this thing. Is this thing really important? Do we really need it? Or is it just because I saw it on Instagram or my friend had this at her wedding? Or so
Yeah.
Go a little bit deeper. What I'm trying to say, go deeper.
Yeah, and going along the topic of the cake, I mean, the guests have already loaded themselves up with dessert and food and tea and coffee and etc. They have no space for cake.
That was just an example.
No, but it's a good thing you brought that up, because I can recall almost every wedding that I've attended where the wedding cake did not get consumed.
Yeah.
It happens almost every time.
Yeah.
And it's just an unnecessary expense.
I guess.
Those cakes are expensive.
Very expensive, yeah.
Very expensive.
What other details? I don't know. We want to have this caterer and not that caterer. Is it because his food is really better, or is it because he's more famous and he has like a bigger
I'm
name?
big on food. Like, I want good food. If I'm getting married, there better be good food at my place, in my wedding.
I was just saying that social media plays a huge role, a huge part in this. Like, we see a lot of things, and every year there's something new coming up that they make you feel like, how did people have their weddings before without this thing? Like, It's a must.
And that's how they sell engagement rings.
Engagement. It's, at the end of the day, it's an industry.
Yeah.
Just like Valentine is an industry, Christmas is becoming an industry. It's all industries. So usually when talking about the wedding, what's on the guy's mind is money, budget, how much we should spend on the wedding. Of course, the girl is thinking about other things, how it's going to look, like the practical stuff, I guess. Oh, the fun stuff. But I suggest that instead of asking how much we should spend on the wedding, we should ask a little bit more deeper questions. Like, for example, what does this wedding need to do emotionally?
What do you mean?
Why do we want to plan our wedding in this specific way? What desire is it fulfilling for us? What feelings is it satisfying for us? Because they could have completely different expectations. For him, it's, well, there's nothing emotional. It's just a way to announce our wedding and like share it with family and friends. For her, it could be, no, this is the day I've dreamt of since the day I was young, since I was, I don't know, this is something that my dad would always talk about. When you grow up, I want to see you as a princess on your wedding day or what. So they are operating from completely different systems.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When you were getting your wedding dress, how much was that wedding dress?
If I remember correctly, close to 200 dinars, which is like, I don't know, 400 Canadian, you could say.
Okay.
But that was rental.
Okay. So what was this wedding dress doing to you emotionally? What desire was it fulfilling?
It was an expression of my inclination or my love for simplicity.
Okay.
I wanted everything in the wedding to scream simplicity.
Okay. Beauty and simplicity.
Beauty and elegance and simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
So the dress was one way to symbolize that.
Okay. And what fear would show up if we didn't do it that way?
You're talking about the wedding or the dress?
The dress.
What fear? That if I would go with like one of those puffy dresses and
that like drapes on the ground
stuff and all of that, then it would give the impression that I'm this kind of person. I'm a person who loves loudness and extravagance and more. And what is the opposite of minimalism? Maximalism? Extravagance, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm not.
Right. Okay. Like, were there any specific deal breakers for either of us when it came to the wedding?
I think both of us wanted to have music in the wedding.
Yes.
Both of us wanted a mixed wedding.
Yes.
So
both we were in agreement with our non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Wow.
Both of us didn't want to have like too many guests. So just the people who cared about us genuinely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the rest were just like minor details.
Yeah. And our parents pretty much gave us the freedom to do it the way we wanted.
Yeah.
Which was great.
I think also because we were a little bit older, so...
Yeah, so they gave us more trust.
Yeah.
But I guess not everybody has the luxury of going about their wedding this way, though.
Yeah. Another question to ask is, if we don't have our wedding the way we want, which disappointment hurts more? Our disappointment or our parents' disappointment?
Our disappointment.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course.
Yeah, I agree. Another question to ask. If we remove the camera from the scene, there were no cameras, what would remain? Would we change anything about the wedding?
No. For us, you mean specifically?
Well, I was asking in general, but I think for us, I would say no. Because we weren't doing anything just for the photos and like for Instagram and for all of that. But this is a good question to ask yourself. If there were no cameras, if this whole celebration wasn't going to be documented, it's just something you were going to enjoy at that time, and that's it. Would you change anything about it? Maybe you would choose to go with, I don't know, less makeup. Maybe you would choose to go with a less expensive suit. Maybe for the guy, I mean, maybe you would choose to go with no cake. If it's just about how this wedding is going to make us feel at that moment. So just remember, if the wedding is going to cost you peace, is going to cost you heartache, is going to draw this drift between you and your partner, then it's already costing you too much.
Yeah. And always remember, guys and girls, that there is beauty in simplicity. And the marriage, or specifically the wedding day, is not meant to be a financial burden, an emotional burden. It's meant to be a joyous occasion.
Focus more on barakah than how it looks.
Yeah.
Don't start your marriage with a debt.
Please don't.
Yes.
Please don't.
Yeah.
No.
It's like you're going to enjoy that day, that beautiful day. And then the real hardship is going to begin if you start your marriage with debt. After the wedding, guests go home. People talk about it for a few days and that's it. They forget. And then you're left with that financial burden.
Yeah.
So keep it within your means, like you said. Keep it within Allah's guidance. And inshallah, Allah puts barakah in it. Attached to the episode is a PDF file, just like we've been doing for the past few episodes. Some reflections and some questions you can ask yourself and ask your potential partner about how to plan the wedding in a way that like aligns with both your expectations, inshallah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And also try to have that conversation earlier on rather than, 6 months into the courting phase and then realizing that you guys both have non-negotiables and, this potentially beautiful relationship could end. Try to have it earlier on in the courting phase.
I would say before the engagement. Like not the first topic you discuss.
Of course not. No.
But before like you make things formal, before the engagement.
Okay. And as always, if anything resonated with you, feel free to comment, share the episode with anybody that's looking to get married or is engaged about to get married.
And mabarook in advance.
Yes. Until next time.
Assalamu
Assalamu alaikum.